Welcome back, dear children. My dear children, in the previous part, I have performed this experiment and I have shown you that light travels in a straight line. Okay, you can also see it when the light comes through the canopy of the tree. See, from the top of the tree, the sunlight comes and it looks like this. This also proves that light travels in a straight line. Even at night, if you will glow a torch, you can see the torch light, it also travels in a straight line. This also proves that light travels in a straight line. Now, my dear children, light travels in a straight line, it do not bend. We cannot see things that are behind us. Can you see anything that is behind us? No. If light could bend, then the light reflected by those things would bend around us and it will enter our eyes and we would be able to see them. Obviously, if light would have bent, then whatever the thing is behind us, the light reflected from that thing will enter our eyes and then we would have been able to see whatever is behind us. But this is not happening. This proves that light travels in a straight line. It do not bend. Even in case of the earth, when the earth rotates, the part of the earth facing the sun receives the sunlight and has day, while the other part, which is not lit up by the light of the sun, has night. If light would have bent, then just imagine it will travel from here and then it will enter this part of the earth, which is not possible. If this would have happened, then there would have been no night. But night is there. You're getting me? That is why we say that the light travels in a straight line. Another example of light traveling is the straight line is the formation of shadows. Shadows are also formed, proving that light travels in a straight line. So now we will study how the shadows are formed. But before that, we should know that what is a transparent, opaque, and a translucent object. Now take an example of this. Can you see this? There is a toy and the torch. From here we will put on the torch. Can you see the shadow formed by this shadow formed? Can you see the shadow of this toy being formed on the wall? So this object is not allowing the light of the torch to pass through it. So this is an opaque object. Take an example of a glass jar. When you will glow a torch, okay, what will happen? The light will cross this jar and it can easily pass through this glass jar. This proves that this object is a transparent object. Now, have you seen a frosted glass? Frosted glass? Have you seen when it is raining outside how the glass appears? Okay, you are not able to see things properly. So what happens? The butter paper. Okay, or you can even take an example of some plastics like this. So this plastic, it allows some part of the light to pass through it. Not all light passes, little bit of light can pass through it. These objects are known as translucent object. So there are three types of things: transparent, opaque, translucent. So what are transparent objects? Transparent objects are the objects that allows the light to pass through it. Opaque objects do not allow the light to pass through it. And translucent objects, it allows the light to pass through it, but not to much extent. It is neither transparent nor opaque. It is in between transparent and opaque. I hope you have understood this. Okay, now the next is how the shadows are formed. Shadows are definitely formed, my dear children, when something opaque is placed in the path of the light. Opaque means which do not allow the light to pass through it. Now take this example. Okay, I have placed a bottle. I will switch on the torch. Now, can you see? Can you see, my dear children, the shadow is being formed? Can you see? See, the shadow is being formed. This shadow, which is being formed, is just because the path of the light is blocked by this object. This object is not allowing the light to pass through it, so the shadow is formed. Okay, this dark part is known as shadow. We see a shadow when it falls on something. For example, here it has, you can see the shadow is formed on the book. If light could have bent, then there would have been no darkness behind this opaque object. In other words, there would be no shadow. Just imagine, if light would have bent, then shadow would have not been there. I hope you have understood, my dear children. Okay? We must have noticed that the shadow of an object falling on a surface changes the shape and size. One of the things, the size of the object's shadow depends on the angle at which the light falls on the object. You know that the sun seems to move from east to west during the daytime, and as its position in the sky changes through the day, the light falls at different angles on an object on the ground, and this changes the size of the shadow of the object. The size of the shadow of the object is different at different times of the day. Okay, it is different at different times of the day. It is different because, why it is different? Because the light, it falls at different angle on that object. Now take an example of this. Now I am, look at this. I will shine a I have shined a torch from this side. If I am placing the torch this side, the shadow is formed here. If I am placing it, see the length of the shadow, it is so small. And if I am placing it this side, the shadow is formed this side and it is so long. So it solely depends upon the position of the sun. The length of the shadow depends upon the position of the sun. Okay, so we will do till here only. Please read this chapter at home. Thank you.